Bill.
Today I am audible.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just only 1 minute I will take, and because today's session will be continuing till maybe around 55 to 60 minutes. So, how was the session yesterday? There were only 6 comments about what was. There was one person who could make it out. There was one short thing. That is, you could have prepared beforehand. Gautam Raju Mohanji, good evening. So, more or less,
Sir,
I
good
think
evening.
so.
Namaste, sir.
Namaskar. So I believe so
कैसे हैं आप?
my English is not that bad as it can be understood by everybody. Vinita Nair is also there. Suryalal Gupta ji, namaskar.
नमस्कार सर, गुड इवनिंग।
आ गए आज तो आप टाइम से पहले। मैं ही सबसे बाद में आता हूँ, मुझे ऐसा लगता है।
नो सर, नो सर।
चलिए सर, बस 1 मिनट में शुरू करते हैं आज का प्रोग्राम। तो ये बताइए पहले कि आपने अपना, मैंने आपको आज सवेरे जो मेल भेजी थी उसमें एक फॉर्मेट भेजा था अपना, टू फाइंड आउट योर ओन लर्निंग स्टाइल। आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने किया उसको ट्राई? 20 क्वेश्चन थे उसमें। मैंने तो पहले ट्राई किया था, तो उसमें माइंड वाज 40% वाज ऑडिटरी, बाकी जो है वो विजुअल और काइनेस्थेटिक या टेक्टाइल था। आज मैंने चेक किया सवेरे, तो इट वाज 50% ऑडिटरी। और अब मैं सेटिस्फाइड हूँ, बिकॉज हमारा काम जो है वो बोलने का ही है। बोलने से ही हम लोगों को खाना मिलता है, रोटी मिलती है और हमारा प्रोफेशन चलता है।
यस सर।
50% आई एम ऑडिटरी। आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने ट्राई किया? जरा चैट बॉक्स में लिख दीजिएगा डन। इफ यू हैव डन, then certainly it will be a great thing for me to learn that you people are also trying something for yourself first. Second step will be for your kids, and then third step will be apply that particular format to your class, so that you can find out the learning styles of your students, and on the basis of that you apply the strategies जो आज हम strategies use करने वाले हैं, बोलने वाले हैं। नो प्रॉब्लम राजू जी, आप ट्राई जरूर करिए उसको, बिकॉज दैट गिव्स यू वेरी मच इंसाइटफुल थिंग्स एज टू हाउ यू लर्न। तभी आपको पता चलेगा कि आपकी सासू माँ किस तरीके से आपसे बात करती हैं, दैट यू अंडरस्टूड एवरीबॉडी एवरीथिंग, और समटाइम्स नथिंग, क्योंकि आपका लर्निंग स्टाइल जो है वो ऑडिटरी है। So I will be starting now. Going to 46 candidates today, they are present, and on the second page, none of them has opened their videos. That will not be any harm to me, because if it comes to me for the purpose of verification, I will not be able to show them the photographs or videos or recordings even. First page pe more or less nearly 13-14 people are there with the, no problem sir, but you write P in the chat box so that I can show them yes they were present, and due to some problem in the video they were present in the class, in the webinar. You know, in my previous webinars there were 17 people who were verified through me, but I could not verify either their video or their P written in the chat box. So if there is video over there, that is great. जैसे प्रीति राठौर जी है और ये है पूनम राठौर जी हैं। आप दोनों सिस्टर हो क्या एक ही स्कूल में? हाँ, ये हुई ना हंसने वाली बात।
No, sir.
अरे राठौर तो सब होते एक ही। वैसे तो हमारा प्रोफेशन ही सब भाई बहनों का है। हमारा प्रोफेशन जो है दैट इज रिलीजन। माय रिलीजन इज टीचिंग। आपका भी यही होगा। चलिए शैल वी स्टार्ट नाउ, नॉट टू वेस्ट मच टाइम। हमने कल तक बहुत कुछ कर लिया था। नाउ आई एम शेयरिंग द स्क्रीन एंड जस्ट लेट मी नो, आज मोहन जी नहीं है हमारे पास, दूसरे मोहन जी हैं, गौतम राजू मोहन जी हैं। लाइट फिर दोबारा से जा सकती है, इसलिए अगर मेरी शक्ल आपको दिखाई ना दे तो बिल्कुल घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है, मेरी आवाज आप तक आनी चाहिए, मेरी स्क्रीन आपको दिखाई देनी चाहिए। चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं आज की। प्लीज म्यूट कर लीजिए अपने आप को, क्योंकि मेरे को अभी आज मोहन जी आए नहीं है। आई ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट हाउ टू म्यूट एवरीबॉडी फ्रॉम हियर। म्यूट कर लीजिए। देखिए पीछे से डिस्टरबेंस आएंगी तो सभी लोगों को डिस्टरबेंस होगा, आप भी समझ नहीं पाएंगे, बाकी लोग भी समझ नहीं पाएंगे। प्लीज म्यूट योरसेल्फ। दैट्स ग्रेट, सो नाइस ऑफ यू, सो काइंड ऑफ यू रादर। चलिए हम एक स्लाइड शुरू करते हैं। एज अप्रोच, देखिए मैं यहाँ पर आपको वो स्ट्रेटेजीज नहीं बताने वाला हूँ जो जनरली थ्योरेटिकल एस्पेक्ट्स हैं और जो लिखे हुए हैं बुक्स में भी। जब आप सीबीएसई की जाते हैं, मैडम प्लीज म्यूट योरसेल्फ, प्लीज म्यूट योरसेल्फ। वी हैव ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड
Sir, we don't know Hindi, sir.
मैडम
We don't know Hindi, sir.
आई एम स्पीकिंग इन इंग्लिश। So I will not be talking about those strategies which are generally discussed in the theoretical aspects. I am talking about those practical things which you can utilize for the age appropriateness for each strategy and then utilizing them in the class. The storytelling part is coming up very fast in almost all the subjects. English, Hindi, mathematics, science, social science, every subject, storytelling is coming up as a major aspect of how to teach the strategy. But I will be talking to you about first age appropriateness, 5 to 8 years. The most appropriate ones are navigation, role play, and storytelling. The next one is 8 to 13 years. Then they go for the demonstration. Either in the class, I can't talk, I can't take. यही प्रॉब्लम है। मैं पहले बोला था कि आई विल नॉट। हेलो हेलो, आई विल नॉट। So I was talking about the 8 to 13 years. 8 years means the student is in class 3 and then up to 13, which means it is up to class 8. Demonstration, that the teachers bring their material or teaching aids into the class, sit together with the students, demonstrate how the things are done. They learn something, make their own notes, make their own observations, and put up what they have learned. And this is one of the best way and one of the oldest ways in our times also. The teacher used to take that beaker, copper sulfate, stirring rod and everything to the class, demonstrate what is diffusion, and then we used to learn, make our observations. Similarly, now the new things have been added to that is field trips and interviews. And for the higher classes, that means 6th onwards, discovery and flip teaching. I'll be talking about the flip teaching more importantly. First one is navigation. You see, the first one, I am giving you this chart. You see, there is a map which is given. Generally, you will get it all in the recording. You can stop the record over there, make this particular chart or similar chart. You teach a student how to read map. You see, whenever you are reading a map, the north is always shown on the top. And that is why we say the stock market is going northward, which means the stock market is going up. The rupee is going southward, which means the value of rupee is going down. So that way we go for the map reading. Now prepare a map of nearby park or block or whatsoever the recreational place is there in nearby in your place. Then you make a map first, put it on the board or the projector on the screen and explain to them there is fountain, there is a road, there is a rose bed, there is a flower bed, there is a greenery, and so on and so forth. Then leave the child at the place, giving them the small chart, very not elaborate, very small chart, which means only specific things which you think, so that a student of class 3 or 4 can find out or can recognize, yes, this is light in the park. You see, every park has got a huge highlight in the center. So you can mark it like that. Now, this is the map which I have prepared for the people, for you people, and then there are 6 landmarks. First, number 1 is post office. And on the right bottom corner, you might be seeing one thing, you are here. So take whole of your class on one particular spot and tell them you are here. Take your map out, make a group of 4 students. Now you go to point number 6 or go to the water park. They will read from the map where is water park. They will walk on the road and reach that particular point. Now, what is the fun? Basically, reaching the point is not the fun. The fun part, that is the learning part, comes up now. Once they reach over there, then they are given this type of worksheet. What is point number 3? I'll go back again for you to read. Point number 3. So point number 3, you can see shopping complex. Next is, which point shall get you a pizza? The student can write point 3 also, which is serving pizza. Yes, shopping complex might be having a restaurant, so you can have pizza over there. Then point number 5 is a restaurant. In a restaurant also you can get pizza. So the concept thing is, students come to know what is the utility of these particular points. What point is a letterbox? Instead of this question, you can put, where will you drop in your letters? So obviously this comes to their mind. Yes, there is letterbox. So in the letterbox, we can put our letters. Which direction is point number 5 to your starting point? You are starting extreme right and bottom and 5. So which point? It is towards the west. So this way they can be given the sense of direction. The next one is another chart, that is navigation. You see this particular diagram. Now using this type of, you can see stickers. Obviously they are available. The charts are huge charts. The big charts are available in the market, in the stationery shop. Cut the small figures out of there, and most of the schools have got tiles, 2 by 2. 2 square feet ki tiles are there in each of the classroom. Vacate the central portion of the class, as I told you in the classroom design. Put all the desks on the sides and stick those pictures in the center. Just like this concept, you can now teach. See in this chart what you can see. You can see human beings also. You can see chocolate also, ball also, fruits also, modes of transportation, colors, birds, anything under the sky, whatsoever you want to teach. You can take those figures, put them across in such a way, just as they are here. This is when they come in and they get excited to look at the floor. Oh, what are the things we are going to do today? Yes, now the chart comes, that is worksheet. You are at particular point A, that is extreme left and bottom. Now, I'm giving you questions, worksheet will be available to you. On the basis of that worksheet, you can work out anything under the sky. But I am giving you now the question. Turn towards the east, take 3 steps. What do you get? You will get a pair of mangoes. So 2 things will be there. First, turning towards the east. So they will come to know that on the top of this map is, or the diagram is north. So if we have to turn towards the east, which means we turn towards the right. Take 3 steps. 1, 2, and 3. Third step will give us what? They will give us fruits, that is a pair of mangoes, oh sorry, oranges. Now you say turn left, take 2 steps. What do you get? I get number 3. So that is the concept of numbers also you can teach. Then you say turn right, take 1 step. What do you get? A balloon, blue balloon. So color, one thing is clear is color. So if you want to teach them only colors, you put all the colors on the floor and then ask them, reach the purple color, reach the red color, reach the green color. How many steps do you take? By counting these steps, they will come to know exactly how many steps they have to take. They have to count them and they will reach the point. They will learn the counting, they will learn the directions, they will learn the colors, means of transportation, fruits, relations, and anything under the sky. Edibles also, animals also, birds also, anything under the sky. So with this over, I go to the next step is next strategy is role play. And this is a very conceptual learning which we have all been using for the ages. हमारे time में role play होता था बहुत limited, which means it was limited only to a particular chapter. Now the thing is that the marketplace is the best place to give them or clarify the concepts that are related to mathematical calculations, make the coins of the papers, coins or notes, artificial. Give them some notes to the buyer as a buyer, some students as buyers, some students as shopkeepers. Make them role play. How much is this potato? 40 rupees. I have got 50 rupees. So they now learn subtraction. I give them 50 rupees. The shopkeeper returns me 10 rupees. That means 50 minus 10 is 40. That way they can learn the mathematical concepts also. Now, when you are going for role play, you have to give the say prepared this text so that they can learn about the English words and their comprehension. How do they use them in this sentence? How much is potato? This is one way of asking the cost. The second way is directly asking the question, what is the cost of potatoes per kg? Now, vegetable colors also can be told. Same way, role play. Give me, what is that green vegetable? Sir, there are 3 green vegetables. The first one is lady's finger. The second one is cauliflower. The third one is gourd. Tell me which one do you want? So this type of script when they are given, I will give you a video which was prepared by an English teacher in a rural remote area. There is a school, government school in Dongipani, Madam, Chhattisgarh. That is a very backward class, backward place. But that teacher was after means continuous labor with the students, the group of students, nearly 15-20 students, role play. He just implied that role play over and over. After 3 months, he put up this show and shot the video and put it on the YouTube, Facebook, and all the social platforms. And that went viral. Those students, I will send you that video in the group, and you will see that those students were not wearing that what you call slippers. Even slippers bhi nahi the. And still they were talking to them in a prepared text. Each one of them mugged it up, but they were talking. At least that was the starting, the beginning. And once they start beginning the role play and then talking to each other. Hello, I am Ajay Sharma. What is your name? I read in class 6. Which class you study or read? And so on and so forth. They kept on talking for nearly 4 to 5 minutes. And that was a beautiful, means my heart was swelled with pride. Yes, we have got such dedicated teachers in our country, those who are working in such a remote area without thinking about the circumstances, the environment, where there is no electricity at all, no facilities of those what we call the evening walk, the mall, the park, open spaces. And still he worked day and night and produced the results. Now let us go for the next strategy, that is storytelling. The storytelling, basically it has got 10 benefits. Benefits are many, but these are the essential benefits which can be reaped by anybody, any teacher who is involved in storytelling. It instills the values and virtues in your child, number one, and that is more important than anything else, because most of the time we see whenever we are going for storytelling, most of the stories have got moral of the story. Make them aware of their own culture and roots, because most of the time when we talk to them, how many of you spend your evenings or nights, not evenings, even night time, after the dinner, sit with your child, go for the storytelling? In our times, I used to go to my village. My grandfather and grandmother, they used to tell us some bedtime story. And we all brothers and sisters, we used to surround them. And while listening to the story, we just slept. And slowly my grandfather would come, wake us up if we were tall enough or heavy enough to be carried in the arms. Otherwise, the smaller ones, they were carried in the arms and put in their beds. So that is the benefit that attaches you with your child with you, and your child with your culture, the roots. Next is when we speak up. Then the next day, he used to ask us, what was the story yesterday I talked to you? Then we used to speak it out. Once upon a time, every story starts like that. Most of the stories, I would say. And that gives us an insight into the verbal proficiency of the child, that develops it. I tell you, I am a product of Kendriya Vidyalaya, where there was not a English speaking culture. Most of the time we used to communicate in Hindi. But when I was in my village with my grandfather, specifically during those 45 days of summer vacations, we used to stay over there for 40 minutes or 40 days. And all 40 days, my grandfather used to take the English newspaper. And in the evening time at around 3 o'clock, all those old age people, 60 plus, retired, they used to come to our house that was having a huge front ground. They used to sit under the tree and ask me to read the news loud. That gave me insights into my comprehension and my spoken English. And that way you can also give them a small book, English story, read it aloud. And whenever they are committing mistake of speaking out, pronunciation or comprehension wise they are wrong, then you may rectify their mistake and then move on. Second thing, then for next thing is, if you are telling story to your kids, their listening skills are improved, and probably in the CBSE class 9 and 10 we have got ASL, assessment of speaking and listening. Both these two skills are developed by storytelling. It encourages creativity. A small kid, you take hold of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years child and ask him, "Kya aaj aapne kya dekha? What did you see in the park?" And then how he reconstructs his experience, that will be a wonderful experience for you also. How he goes for imagination, and then creating this story, which never happened. I was walking on the path. There was a small puppy. I just touched him and he started wagging his tail, and then he started following me. मैं तो डर गया. I was afraid, and then I started running. The puppy also started running. He started chasing me, and then I hid myself behind the tree. He came around to me, and so on and so forth. He will keep on constructing, and you will see the imagination power and creativity. So these two things are developed by storytelling. The next one is a great tool for sharpening memory. Once you ask your kid, what have you experienced in the park? When he reconstructs, that means he is reproducing his experience, and that way he will again and again, when he repeats the same experience, it will be sharpening the memory. That is not a rote learning. Rote learning is something different from this. This is basically repeating your experience so that you remember the things for a longer time. It broadens your horizon of imagination. It makes academic learnings also easier, because you see, learning styles, there is the third one, that is the quote tactile, that is kinesthetic. You go for the body gestures as well as speaking and listening. Auditory, one. Then next one is speaking. Auditory में आ जाता है. Then visual. It broadens your horizon. And academic learning is easier, because whenever the child is learning something from the book, he will be trying to create an image in his mind. If what exactly I am reading is created in my mind, and that makes your learning fast. And when you speak, it makes your communication better. As I told you earlier, number one is pronunciation of the words, and number two is comprehension. Through storytelling, the child will be able to face the difficult situations with ease. Because his imaginations, his horizons have expanded, he could now realize or think beyond the visible. Which is not visible, he can visualize that in the mind, create an image, and then develop the things. So these are the benefits of storytelling, but there is a right approach. There has to be a right approach for storytelling. Number one is length of the story. It should not be more than 7 to 8 minutes, maximum 8 minutes, or if there is something important, it can go beyond to 10 minutes. But keep it short with moral. What is the outcome of this story? Then number two is setting should be comfortable. They should be sitting in the relaxed position, not straight. Madam class mein hai and I will be straight with a straight backbone. No, relax and listen to me carefully. The right approach should be that the story should be in the context of what exactly we are going to experience. That means introduction first. First, your introduction should be there. Today, I am going to tell you a story of a beautiful girl and 7 dwarfs. The girl was named Cinderella, and there were 7 dwarfs. I'm going to tell you the story of Pied Piper. I'm going to tell you the story of how cheating will not benefit you in the long term. Pied Piper of Hamelin. Now, when you are, fourth thing is, when you are telling story, then there should be very much proper expressions on your face. You are telling something horrible, but you are smiling. And if you make your face serious while you are taking some humorous things, then certainly it will not be impacting the child's mind as you require. So if you are telling a humorous thing, then you should also smile. Like, say, for example, the story of a cap seller and monkeys. Then this cap seller threw his cap on the floor, tuck, with proper expressions. And then all the monkeys also took off their hats and tuck, tuck, tuck. All the monkeys threw their caps on the floor. The cap seller collected them and walked off. That way, it will be having better impact on the mind of the child. That is proper expression on your face. It should be loud. Loud means audible. But the pace should be slow. There was a cab seller, there was a Pied Piper, there were too many rats in a kingdom. The king was very much unhappy with that. And then he came across a man who claimed that he will be blowing the pipe and drag all the rats out of the city. Fine. King engaged him. So pace should be slow, but it should be audible and involve your children also while there. Why was king after the story is over or even in between? Yes, Mohit. Why king was worried? Sir, king was worried about the rats in the kingdom. Good. And then you continue with this story. Or after the story is over, then you can go for that. So depends upon your approach. Next is flipped classroom. This is very much important and very impactful. I'll not be discussing these slides, the first ones. You see, the traditional classroom is having the teacher on the stage, which means over here in the traditional style classroom, the teacher keeps on speaking, teaching, and giving instructions and using strategies and giving everything, utilizing all the strategies, teaching aids, everything for the one-way communication, which means teacher is speaking, the students are learning or not, he is least bothered about it. That means the assessment part will be coming last. And that may not have that impact. Will have impact. And finally, after the lesson is over, the teacher gives them homework. Some back questions of the chapter or some questions developed by yourself. But the flipped classroom is just reverse of this. The teacher's role becomes the guide on the side. What he does is, I'll tell you what it is. Let us come further. This one. This one. You see, teacher creates 3 to 4 videos per week. And this is just only like creating reels in the Instagram. आप लोग reels create करते हैं Instagram पे? How many of you do that? Just write in the chat box, I create, I create, I create. Poonam Rathore to करती हैं because she is smiling, which means she does it. Everybody of us, yes, I also do. I do for the promotion of my webinars and all. आप बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक किसी और का रखते हैं, मैं खुद बोल के कर लेता हूं उसको, बट दिस इज रील. अब उसी रील को कोई भी लेसन आपने अगर पढ़ाना हो, इफ एनी लेसन यू हैव टू टीच इन द क्लास, just try to make it in the reel of 3 to 4 minutes, maximum 4 minutes. Try to put it up as a reel. And then what you do is, what the teacher does is, he puts up this video in the class. He shows this video in the class, or rather better, he posts it in all of us during the COVID, and after that we have got the hybrid system of teaching, which means physically also we are engaged in classroom teaching as well as through net, Zoom classes or Google Meet, or there are a number of other platforms also, depending upon your school, what they provided. You put up this video in the group so that all the kids, they will watch this video in their free time whenever they feel like, अरे आज सर ने कुछ पोस्ट किया है, let me see what it is. So at least 3 to 4 minutes concentration will be there on your video, on your reels. So that way the student will come to know what concept you want to show them. Now the second part comes is कि when they come back to the school, to your class, they have been given instruction, watch this video and come up with one question at least. Everybody will come up with one question, one doubt, which we will discuss in the class. This is basically the concept of guide on the side. The main role is being played by the teacher, but behind the scene. You give them the video, they watch it, and then come up with their questions, their doubts. So that way, this is called flip teaching. So class time is spent doing laboratories, interactive activities to illustrate that particular concept, elaborate on that. If they say, sir, we could not understand the concept of diffusion. Okay, fine. Take some fragrant sticks to the class, burn them in one corner of the class. After a few seconds only, everybody will be smelling. Oh, yes, very good smell. This is diffusion. That smell from one corner of the class is spread out in all class, even outside the class, due to diffusion. From higher concentration to lower concentration. And that way, the flip teaching acts. Now, reflect upon your favorite lesson and think about whether it can be, the learning can be enhanced by flipping it or not. If you are not able to elaborate on particular thing, how it can be utilized in the class, try to take help from your colleagues, your subject teachers. If I am mathematics, I'll take help of other mathematics teacher. Sir, ye number line kaise padhai jaye? How can we teach number line in the class? First, I go for the flip teaching, then I make a video first. Back at home, 3 to 4 minute reel. Then what your students would gain, and then what would be lost. There are advantages, disadvantages in almost all of the systems, whether it is traditional, whether it is flip teaching, whatsoever the strategy you utilize in the class, that may be beneficial for some of the students and some may not understand that particular concept using that particular strategy. So in that case, that is why learning style is very much important for you to understand. And once you understand the learning style of your students, the majority of the students, then certainly you will be able to design your lesson plan according to that. Now, these are certain concepts. Infrastructural design. Longitude, latitude, we teach in social studies while doing maps, while doing globe. The same way, we can utilize them in the class. On the top of the door, you can write horizontal line, or we say sleeping line, they are latitude. Standing lines, vertical lines, they are called longitudes. Similarly, there is another concept of angles. Now, how a door can be utilized to learn the concept of angles. See this. You make 180 degrees with 10-degree difference, and this type of drawing on the floor below or underneath the door. Now you teach the concept of angles one by one. Half the class is inside, half the class is outside. The first one comes to the door, open the door by 10 degrees. Keep it at any point, open the door by 10 degrees. The boy from outside comes and looks at the floor and see that yes, he moves the door by a certain degrees, 10 degrees, and then everybody is enhanced. Learning is enhanced this way. One from inside, close the door by 10 degrees. Then next from outside, open the door by 30 degrees, which means now the door is open at 20 degrees. 20 plus 30 is 50. See, he opens the door by 50 degrees. So that way, addition is also enhanced. Number one. Number two, they know the concept of degrees. And that way, the learning is enhanced. Now, what about tables? What about tables? How do we ask them to learn the tables? I will just have a quick sip of. How do we teach them the tables? How many of you people have got the first floor or second floor in your classes, in your schools? Most of the schools are now first floor. Right? You can utilize the stairs for this purpose. On one stairs, you are writing one table. 6 3s are 18, 6 4s are 24, 6 6s are 36, 6 7s are 42, 6 9s are 54, 6 10s are 60, and then 7. How many stairs do you have depending upon that? This is one concept. Similarly, on other side where there are bigger students of the higher classes, this whole stair can be utilized for a number of tables like this one. Extreme left, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, different colors. Okay, Mohit, climb the stairs and utilize the table. Speak out the table of 8 whenever you are climbing the stairs. Speak out the table of 8. So he put up 8 1s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 8 3s are 8 4s are 8 5s are, and so on. Okay, Rashi, come up. Learn the table 4. So you basically in the class you are not able to teach them or make them learn. So while climbing the class or the stairs, the student is being asked. You can say, Mohit, you cannot learn the table this way. Go to the stairs, climb up the stairs, speaking out the table of 8 repeatedly, and then come to the class. Mohit also comes to know climbing those stairs, I can learn the table of 8 every time I climb the stairs. And all the students do the same exercise and everybody is done with. This is basically TSP. The video will not work over here because in the background, there is nothing. If it plays, fine. If it doesn't play, I don't think so it will play. Yes, there is no media thing. So I will send you this TSP also in your group. Because in mail, if I send you along with this recording, it will be very heavy. The next one comes is, अब आते हैं हम इनके characteristics में. You see, visual learners, they can learn or speak out the things what they see. So that way, they learn best by seeing or looking at the pictures, diagrams, demonstrations, displays, handouts. And these people use the phrase such as, show me. And that is why we have got the concept of teaching as show and tell. As a teacher, you show this thing. This is A for apple. Whole class repeats A for apple. You take physical apple also. This is apple. Fine. That's great. In your resource room, in the school, there might be an aeroplane. You take that aeroplane to the school, to the class. A for aeroplane. This is aeroplane. So that way they learn. Next one are visual aids. That means visual learners go accommodate. How do you accommodate them? They learn by looking at the things. So maps, flowcharts, or web organized material also. If you have got a very good computer lab, you can take them to the computer lab and give them some demonstration on the web. Prepare the thing, put it on the desktop, and keep yourself ready with the material. Take your class to the computer lab and show them, yes, this is the concept which I want you to learn. Basically, nobody could understand that physical education can be utilized to teach mathematics also. So mathematics in the playground. When they look on the football field or the basketball court, what is semicircle? Go near the goal post and show them this. This is semicircle. What is an arc? Go to the corner, penalty corner. There is an arc. So on and so forth. So now visual learners, ask them to write down the explanations and take notes. This basically is looking at your presentation, visualizing them in the mind, and then writing their own notes, making their own notes. and that way they learn beautifully. Next is auditory learners, by doing the things, by learning the things, by speaking it out, which means they say they learn by let us talk over. You discuss with them and they learn better. You ask them to explain, they will be giving you the best explanation of their experience, what they learned about out of your experience. And that way they learn better. So they can remember. If in the lower classes you go, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, you go for actions, speak it out, and ask the students also to go for the similar gestures and speak out loud the poem. Jack and Jill went up the hill. You go for this action and they will also do. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Went up the hill. Fetch a pail of water. This is fetching the pail of water from the well. And so on and so forth. How to accommodate means encourage them to participate in discussions. Encourage them in conversation about the subject matter. Whatsoever the topic you are discussing, ask them their experience. Ask for the oral summaries. They will be beautifully explaining them. Ask them to listen to the music, and they are good listeners. They love music. Read the material aloud. Speaking a little bit louder. Pair and share. Make pairs of those two students. In mathematics, we have got the concept of complementary numbers, supplementary numbers, even and odd. And these same things can be taught using share and care. Pair and share. Mnemonic devices, rhymings, number of things are available on the Google. Rather than going for more of the reels, you try doing research on the Google, prepare yourself beforehand, before going to the class, take the material into the class, put them up for the show, and see the marvelous results. The first term will be conducted immediately after your schools reopen now. The next one is verbal learning style. There are the characteristics. Verbal learns, they use words, linguistic skills. They like word games, not only crosswords. While I go for the module in how to create English speaking environment in the school, over there I used to go for this type of exercise. Make two groups of your students, half, one on the right, one on the left. Give them one particular word. S for ship. Now the first one says ship. The last alphabet of the word spoken by the first group will be taken up by the second group, and for P for, they say parrot. Then again it comes back to the first group. T for tank. Then second group, K for, and so on and so forth. These type of games. Then how to accommodate verbal learners? I have already told you. Teaching and writing activities. Discuss them or present to them. Little things. Whatsoever you have got. Read aloud to them. Role playing. Role playing means out of the students. Ask them to make two groups, create a script, and put up their show. Ask them to teach members of the class certain material. Now the next one is accommodation. I have already told you. The keywords are there. How to incorporate them is by quizzes. Suggest they reread and rewrite their notes. The same story. Read listen. You listen to the audio, let them also listen to the audio, make their own notes, and then discuss the topic in the class. The next is social learning. Social learning, I told you, they process the information by interacting and relating to others. While they work in the group, one is auditory, one is kinesthetic, one is visual. They will work as per their own learning style, but they will work towards the same goal in a group. They will contribute to create the project utilizing their own learning style. And then they enjoy working with each other. One is very good in drawing. So he can put up, he's a visual learner. A visual learner can put up the image very nicely. And that way you can utilize their skill. They can be accommodated in the class to bounce off the idea of each other. I give you this particular idea, but you don't accept to it raw. You bounce it off. I don't agree. Fine, why don't you agree? Give some alternate solution. You don't have to. Generally, abhi mera there is going to be another webinar in the next few weeks only. Curious child. Generally, back at home, this curiosity is shut down by the parents. Mama, why this is? Mama, why that is? And then you get irritated by such questions which you think so that they are silly. But put yourself in the shoes of your child. At that particular age, he is inquisitive, he is curious, he wants to know. So don't shut him. If you are getting irritated, just ask him, beta, we will discuss it at the dinner table. That will be rather better. Abhi मैं थोड़ा काम कर लूँ, I am busy a little bit. You just note down. जो भी आपको पूछना है, certainly I will give you all the answers. मैं जल्दी जल्दी काम खत्म करके I finish it with your dinner and then come up with your dinner table. We will sit over there and then discuss. So discuss with them, share their stories. And when you are sitting in the dining table with your husband, with the wife, with your kids, having dinner, have the dinner slowly. Although it is generally spoken of that it is not a good manner to talk while eating. While eating means while having some grub in your mouth and speaking, it will all come up. Chew it, swallow it, let him also do, and then speak. Somebody is trying to do something on the whiteboard. Please don't do it. Yesterday also there was a spoiling. You might have seen the video. There was a black line on the top. Don't try to do experiments here. So try to do this thing. अभी एक दिन आप अपनी बच्ची को, अपनी लड़की को बोलो, today you will be mother, I will be your daughter. मामा कैसे? You start cleaning up and I'll ask you the questions. जैसे आप मेरे से पूछती हो वैसे, the same way I will ask you the question. Agreed? So they are called buddies. I don't know how many of you people are from North India or Hindi speaking belt, but there is a serial, very beautiful serial going on the Sony Live, Sony TV, that is called Katha. And it is all about parenting. A single mother, how she tackles all the difficult situations, difficult questions, and difficult situations from his son and solves them very amicably, that it is acceptable to the child also, and they are very logical. If you are there, you must see. If you don't, you try start. So this type of role play and group discussion on the dining table with your kids will certainly help them up. I just ask you one question. All of you who are present, 70 people are present out of 74. That is a great achievement. How many of you people speak or sit with your child for nearly half an hour every day, not asking about what you did back at home or back at school or back at the playground? Just anything under the sky except your personal things. ममा, आज पता है रास्ते में मैंने एक भालू देखा. Oh, did you saw? Okay, fine. Let me tell. Just tell me how he looked, what he was doing, what you see. And when your child starts speaking, you see the wonderful things coming up. Some may be original, what he might have experienced, but most of them will be all designed, his own imagination. Just try it. Sit with your child. The most important problem is that most of the parents is now coming to the school. Sir, my son, my daughter is not listening to me. Reflect upon this particular statement on yourself. Sit alone and reflect how much time throughout his childhood till present day, how much time have you spent every day with your child, not speaking about this school, not speaking about the teachers, not speaking about the homework, nothing about that. Just only his personal experiences. We have never. Who will teach the values? And now the parents are complaining, my son is really bad, and he is every time having concocting stories. Whenever I ask him why he did this, he concocts a new story. Every day he is coming up with a story. What should I do? But why you are coming to teacher? What a teacher can do? Yes. Will you believe me if I say that a teacher can do all the miracles, whatsoever the problems they have got? We have got the solution. But the parent must think about this, why this problem has cropped up. Why my child is showing tantrums. I will not go to the school if I don't have sandwich in my lunchbox. Now you have got only 10 minutes in your hands. The bus is coming and you don't have bread back at home. And your son is, because our parenting has been not flopful, rather I will say. It was not exactly the parenting which we needed to do. Pampering is something totally extreme of loving your child. Try to make him understand that these 10 minutes are important for you to ready up for the bus to come at your door. Get up, get ready, I'll prepare your lunch, and in the evening, I will give you sandwich. Agreed? Fine, agreed. So those children can be rather taught to learn back at home, rather than a teacher is being compelled to do this. Etiquettes, mannerism, who will teach? And now whole burden after the COVID has come on the teachers. In the next few weeks, I'm going to have 4 important, this thing is the first one. The next one coming up on 8th is make good manners, or good habits, break bad ones. After that, values and virtues. After that, etiquettes and mannerism. And these are all related to you, me, as a grandfather, me also I am engaged, and I'm experimenting with my grandchild. And then those experiences are kept over here in the PowerPoint. And certainly you will also be benefited. As a teacher, you can mold your students also according to those. Next is social learners. Again, the way of engaging everybody, auditory, visual, kinesthetic, social, isolated, solitary, logical, reasoning, everybody can be accommodated. Suggest, reread and rewrite, first step. Make notes, second step. Quiz, third step. Keywords ke saath, provide them with the keywords, fourth. And then read, listen, write and discuss. Then logical, same thing. CC, problem solving task. Challenge them to work things out for themselves. They let them think critically. Find out the solution. Come up with the solution. and let us discuss at the dining table or the evening tea. Let us discuss what solution you have got. Ask them to suggest conclusion after providing them with the evidence. With your experience, you have more experience, you have got different type of experience, the child has got different experience, certainly his solutions will be different from yours. Mix them up together and come up with the finest of the solution, provide them with the evidence and let them understand what exactly is critical thinking. The next one is physical and tactile. I have discussed it. I will not talk about this very much on. You see, somebody is, again, how to accommodate, same thing is here. Same thing is there. All the steps are similar. Stand at the window. Look in the sky for 5 minutes. 2 minutes, 3 minutes will be more than sufficient for the child, because after that they get restless. And then ask them, what did you see? What was the color of the sky? Were there any birds in the sky? How many birds? What was the formation? When you see, whenever a group of birds is flying in the air, returning back at home, this is the time when they return home, there is a proper formation. You will see most of the time they will fly in the V shape. The first one over here, then their row will be like this, and all of them going to their nest. Ask your child to observe them, the formation of birds. In the morning time, they will not be able to see this formation because out of the nest, they are free. Now they are going, looking for the breakfast, the lunch, the dinner. But while returning back at home in the evening, there will be a formation. Solitary learners, how to accommodate them? Give them free time. You see, ask questions. You know what they think, and they will not think in front of you. Mind it. Don't put pressure on them to give the answer then and there only. Give them some time. Think about it. They will sit alone. They will sit alone. Solitary learners they are. So they will sit alone. Think about the problem which my mom gave to me to think about. In the morning, how do I go for the morning exercise while preparing for the school? We will come up with a solution. Add on to something. Add value point to that particular thing. I can start jumping while moving from my bed to toilet, to washroom, to wear the clothes. I will hum the song. I will hum a poem. I will murmur about an equation of mathematics. I will learn a formula of chemistry. So on and so forth you can, but they will learn, do this thing alone, not in front of you or anybody else. Suggest them these things. Naturalistic, I have told you, just ask them to stand by near the window and accommodate them. Imagine. What exactly, how do you smell the air in the evening time? What was the smell like? Mama, it was some dusty thing, some this thing, some that thing. Come up, observation data. Ask them to write it out. What did you see? What did you smell? What did you hear? Write everything, all of your experience while standing at window for 5 minutes. And then let us discuss on the dining table. So this was today's presentation. I will stop sharing the screen now. And as usual, the last screen says, if you have got any doubt, confusion, query or problem, suggestions, just don't hesitate to call me or write in the group or write me the mail. I'll stop sharing now. and then share the main screen for just 2 minutes. If you have got any questions to ask, you are most welcome to do so. Now, yes, anybody, if there are no questions, then certainly we'll put the end to this session. But if there is anybody, I will be very happy to welcome the person to speak out what exactly. Sanjukta ji, thank you very much for being patiently hearing me for such a long time. And then out of 70, now at the end there are 67. I tell you one thing, which you might think is sarcastic, but from my point of view, it is not. In my previous ones, I've seen out of 74, midway there were 70, and now there are 66. Most of the times when they see that now I have concluded, they don't have questions, they leave. Zelifer ji, thank you very much for being patiently hearing me for such a long time. Daisy Ambrose, she was the first person to join. And in the next one also, she is the first person to join. Janet Singh Thakur, yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Daisy Ambrose is there now online. Yes, Miss Daisy.
I just want to thank you, sir.
Oh, so
Thank
nice.
you.
I am humbled by your words. Thank you very much, ma'am. Really, thank you.
Welcome.
I'll be sharing this today's session. Yesterday's session, everybody has got. There was one mailer demon. I'll be sending it today itself or tomorrow morning first thing, and ask you for the rectification in the mail ID if I have typed it wrong. Thank you, Vandana ji. All right, Vijay Lakshmi ji, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being patient. Thank you, Nivedita ma'am, because yesterday
Yes, great session. Great session.
well,
Very well explained.
I am always motivated by your words. You know, she is elder to me, and elder to me by 10 years. This means
Yes.
not 1 year's experience multiplied by 10, but 10 years different type of experiences. And that way I am learning from her also.
And it was very precisely and crisply done. Clear-cut indication of how learning styles in the classroom, if we know, it helps to teach much better.
This is what I am asking everybody to find out your learning style first, then your own kids'
Yes.
learning styles, and then apply this thing in the classroom and see the marvelous results. Within a month or so, you will be seeing total difference in learning.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a nice dinner and nice sleep. Tomorrow morning, by evening, you will get all the material along with your certificates. There will be 2 mails. One mail will be including only the video recording. Otherwise, it becomes heavy. And the second one will be your certificates. If there are any certificates, please do accept one particular fact that to err is human. And this is also very much rather a fact that I am also a human being, so I may also commit some mistakes. Please excuse me for that. I will rectify as early as possible and send you back a rectified mistake. Thank you, Shivamurthy ji. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
so much, sir, for the wonderful session.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful session. We learned a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.